All right, we'll start with Jeff Rado from Cal Bears on SI. Go ahead, Jeff.
Justin, how you doing?
Morning, Jeff. How are you?
Okay. Can you bring us up to speed on Kedu Awavi and how he's doing?
Yeah, unfortunately went down in the game. It's the same injury he had suffered a couple weeks prior, and he's day-to-day at this point.
And Rush Reimer, what's his status?
Yeah, Rush will be back for this game. He just had a short-term deal that he was dealing with, so he'll be back ready to go for this week.
And a couple weeks ago, you alluded to the likelihood that you would have an announcement about Mason Starling. He hasn't played in quite a while.
Yeah, Mason will not be returning this year. Unfortunately, he's got a season-ending lower body injury, which is tough. He's gone through that a couple different times now, and so we feel for him. He put a lot of work into this, so he will not be able to return this season.
And then Maven Anderson hasn't played in a few weeks. Is that just a rotation thing, or is he also injured?
He had suffered an injury, and now he's in the day-to-day mode right now. So hopefully we'll be able to get him back this weekend.
Am I missing anybody, or are you pretty healthy otherwise?
I think that's about it.
All right, thank you.
All right, Steve Croner, SF Chronicle.
Hey, good morning, Justin. Correct me if I'm wrong, which would not be a surprise, but I see some similarities between McCord and Hank Bachmeier. Is that an accurate assessment or not? And if so, does that help you having played somebody similar the previous week?
Yeah, I think, they both are real good quarterbacks. Obviously, Kyle McCord, I mean, they're throwing the ball for 350 yards plus per game. He's completing a lot of balls. He's throwing a lot of touchdowns. Maybe that was one of the most potent passing attacks in the country. And so this is going to be a really big challenge for our defense. They also have a really talented runner, but they are scoring over 30 a game, throwing it for 350 plus. They got a lot of weapons at receiver, and McCord's, he's got a ton of yards already. So it'll be a really, really great test for our defense.
All right, Jake Curtis, Cal Bears on his side.
Yeah, could you talk about Syracuse's defense?
Yeah, they give you multiple fronts. They give you some of the 3-3 stack, real disruptive up front, give you a lot of different looks. Number 10, the linebacker, number 2, those guys are really good players. And like I said, they're going to give you different fronts, 3-3 stack, 5-0-5 looks with a fourth rusher from different places. They're going to give you some tight fronts, we would call that. They give you some even spacing. The coverages, they mix up. So they do a really good job and are very, very disruptive up front.
All right, back to Jeff Rado.
Justin, is it my imagination, or are you guys purposely being more aggressive with your pass rush this year? And can you talk about the ability of your guys in the secondary allowing you to do that?
Well, it all works together. We certainly want to find ways to affect the quarterback and get off the field in obvious pass situations. I think, last week we were able to get the quarterback on the ground. Some of that was on pass situations. Other times it was on normal down and distance in some of their RPO or slow mesh game. It'll be a different challenge this week. To play great pass defense, you have to affect the quarterback. And then obviously you got to be able to cover. You got to be able to cover in man-to-man from at times. And then you got to be able to have vision and break on the ball and rush the quarterback in zone. And we got to pick and choose when to pressure. But it's going to be a team effort. It'll take everybody involved this week. This is a potent passing offense.
And can you just talk about the season that you're getting from Xavier Carlton?
I been really impressed with Xavier. He's so consistent. It's like from fall camp, every practice, every week, you feel like you get Xavier's best. And he doesn't say a whole lot, but he goes out there. He plays really hard. He's a big guy. He's about 6'6", 280. He's got really long arms, so he can be hard to block. And he plays hard, man. He chases the ball. He affects the quarterback. And I'm really proud of him. He's had a very productive season. We're going to need him big this week. But I think X is a guy, just it goes to show you, he's stuck with it. He came in here, he transferred in a few years ago and has really put his time in. Vic Soto has done a great job coaching him. And again, each and every week he brings it, and he's played hurt. I mean, he's had some, bumps and bruises that he has played through. He's showed toughness throughout his time here, and it's been really impressive to watch.
And you've got David Reese back being real productive last week. Is this as good a pass rush group as you've had in a while?
I guess we'll see. There's times when it seems like that with David and Xavier. Ryan McCullough is a guy, it was obvious to us when he's on the field last week. He showed up. He had a couple really good reps. I think David had probably his best game of the year. Had 2 sacks, batted the ball down twice. I still think he can make even more plays in there, as can Ryan, as can Xavier. So it's good to see those guys. We would like to get some more out of Serene. Serene has some ability, but we'll see. I think there's times when those guys have flashed and have been able to affect the quarterback, but we got to do it on a consistent basis. And I think the obvious pass situations, 3rd and 4th downs and late in the games, we can be more effective.
And will this be a real test for that against this team with this offense?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, thanks.
All right, back to Steve.
So I know you've said that you want to improve your running game, and that's understandable. The flip side is the last 2 games, you've scored 90 points and had almost 1,000 yards. So I don't mean this flippantly at all. Do you really need the running game, or can you survive and win with the running game struggling some?
I think the pass game, and obviously the turnovers have been big in those games as well. But the obviously Fernando, the receivers, the protection has improved significantly in the last couple of games. We've been able to throw the ball pretty effectively. Fernando's throwing the ball very accurately. We're spreading it out. A lot of guys are catching the ball. I think a big thing for us, whatever stats you mentioned, is we still got to put the ball in the end zone on offense more. We've kicked too many field goals in the last couple games, and we're proud of our kickers. I mean, honestly, the special teams and the turnover margin was the reason we won the last game, and we did a great job throwing the ball. But we got to be able to put the ball in the end zone more, and being able to run the ball in obvious run situations and late in the game. I think those are critical, and we can do a better job there. And that's starts up front with the O-line and everybody being on the same page. And then it's, the tight ends, the backs, receivers. The quarterback run game was a big element last week, especially late in the second half, I should say. That was noticeable. But we want to be able to, I think, because if we run the ball better, those stats are going to be even better, if we're more consistent running the ball. I know they will be.
Thank you.
All right, Daniel Macedo from the Daily Cow.
Good morning, Coach. I wanted to ask you, how important is it to have Tobias Merriweather and Keon Grays back to the team? And how are they going to be? How is their involvement going to help the team down the last stretch of games?
Yeah, we'll continue to increase their workload. It was great. Tobias played, almost 50 reps, I think, and it was great having him out there. You obviously saw the size on the goal line there, getting a big catch. He's still a little bit rusty. Hasn't played in a few months. Keon had a couple catches back to back, and we will increase his workload this week. And anytime you can get talented players back on the field, it helps the team. And so we'll see how much their roles grow this week, just how they do in practice. But it's great having them back. We want everybody, healthy and 100%. And I'm really impressed with the way those guys have attacked their rehab and return to play. It's been really eye-opening to watch those guys work to get back on the field.
Thank you.
All right, Matt Moreno from Rivals.
Noel feels like he's on track to potentially be an All-American. I mean, how does he help this defense in ways that maybe we don't even see?
Well, he takes the ball away, so you see that, I guess. Noel's a very good tackler as well. People probably don't, when you think about corners, that's not the first thing you generally think about. But Noel, for a corner, just as a football player, not even a corner, he's a good tackler. He's physical. And he's a competitive guy, and he's very demanding of himself. And we have high expectations for him, and we still coach him and push him to be even better. And that's what he wants. And he wants to take another step. And I think Noel is a talented young man who's very, very driven. And it's been great to watch him, because a year ago, You could see the tools. It was just a bit inconsistent. He's really become a technician and playing out there, which you have to be to play at a high level. And along with his physical tools and his abilities, it's been great to see him blossom into the player he's become. And he's not finished. He's a very competitive guy, like I said, and I know he wants to continue to attack the ball and make tackles and make plays.
All right, back to Jeff.
Justin, all coaches want their teams to be playing their best at the end of the year. That's not always easy because of injuries or whatever, but I'm wondering, are you starting to see that with this team?
Well, yeah, we haven't played our best game yet. I think we've had moments, even, last week, I thought there was moments on offense. Boy, we were moving the ball really effectively and really efficiently. And then we just didn't finish in the red zone quite well enough, and we didn't run the ball quite well enough. Defensively, there's stretches where we're playing really well. Special teams last week came up big. The block field goal, the 2 54-yarders, the strip by Hunter Barth, scoop and score by Miles. Those are huge plays. So I thought the special teams really showed up, but we need to play a full game, offense, defense, and special teams. And when we do that, it'll give us a great chance to win. And this weekend's our next opportunity against a really good opponent, but you can see what's possible, but we have not played our best game yet. So we aim to do that this Saturday. But
you're encouraged, it sounds like, by the pieces you're seeing that are out there, and all you just have to do is come together all at once.
Yeah, I think that's it. And I think, I would imagine most every coach feels the same. And you would expect to improve the more you play. And I think there's a lot of guys on the team and the units on the team that we're seeing that, they're playing better and better together. I think about that O-line group. We just had a lot of different bodies rolling through there. And, this will be, we've had a number of different lineups, but, those guys playing together a little bit more, a couple of young guys in there that are getting more experience. You'd expect them to continue to play better. You get a couple guys back with Keon and Tobias and Corey, Jaden. So if we can, put all that together and play really efficiently, I think we can play really good offense, and the same goes for defense. But it's, simple in concept, but it's hard to do for a full game. And that's our goal, is to play a full game in all three phases. And I do have I am very encouraged about the play of those units and some of those players.
Do you know who your starting offensive line five will be on Saturday?
It'll be the same as last week.
Okay. Thanks.